Okay, I got started cleaning the motor. When I got this, it had old valve covers on it. Had hoses hanging everywhere. First thing I did was basically clean the motor and start looking for the parts. Bought new valve covers. Did away with almost all the old hoses. Did away with some of the wiring. The terminal block on the back of the engine was hanging down. I didn't think much of the cloth covered or decorative coverings on the rubber hoses, so I got rid of those. The ignition system was a points-based system, basically an old style, and could not be retrofitted with any kind of electronic ignition that did away with the points. And of course, one of the problems I knew from the previous owner is they had a problem with ignition, with the engine missing and getting water in the distributor cap. While I was waiting for parts, I started assembling parts of the motors. I cleaned and painted the motor. I found the exhaust manifolds. Those were sanded and smoothed and mounted on the engine. The starter and alternator were taken to a local shop and rebuilt. And I found the carburetor. Oh, happy day. It is a Holley 650, which is more than adequate for a 350 Chevy. Put that on, and so I made my start on the retrofit of the motor. So as parts came in, I started putting things together. Carburetors on the engine. Bought a new spark arrestor. I don't think they really use air filters. I put a new ignition system, basically modern, with new plugs and plug wires in. This is basically an MSD type of unit. And I made a plastic holder for the terminal strip in the back of the motor. The other thing I did was I started moving away from the rubber hoses that were previously used on the engine, and I modified everything to use AN fittings and the AN cloth covered hoses. Most of these I've got either from Jegs or Summit Racing. So that's progress so far. Okay, the motor is now got all the rebuild components on it. It's got all the AN hoses connecting everything. It's basically ready to move off the engine stand onto the ground to move forward. Found the flex plate and the coupling along with the bell housing for the jet drive. So I'm put that on along with got the rebuilt starter motor for it. Moved along. You notice that there is a new thermostat housing put on this motor. This motor normally used a gate valve to control temperature. This has a thermostat that basically provides water to the headers until the engine is warm enough, and then it circulates water through everything, including the engine. Also, I've completed all of the plumbing with the AN hoses. So as I'm finishing up on the motor, I also started cleaning the hull, getting the schmutz out, giving it a little coat of bilge black paint. Then I dropped in the motor and started connecting up some of the cabling and the wiring. You'll also see I put in a pressure relief. Basically, there's a valve that takes the cooling water that comes from the high pressure pump, the Berkeley, and feeds water to the engine. It has a tendency to reach pressures somewhere around 75 psi. Chevy car engine is made to run at about 15 psi. So what I did was put a pressure relief valve in, and then put a feed through the transom for the excess water to go overboard. Time to start putting in some of the surrounding structure back into the boat. This is the section over the motor that holds the engine hatch. And we'll move on to the next episode for the boat.